Hello everybody, welcome back to 2CTV with the latest update, this time from Canada, or as Donald Trump calls it, the 51st state of the United States of America. There is some reports coming in over the last few hours and minutes about what's happening to Justin Castro Trudeau, the Prime Minister, or the tyrant, the tyrannical dictator of Canada. Politicians obviously are now not going to be in Parliament. They are getting ready for Christmas, but things are still kicking off as we finally have Jagmeet Singh making up his mind about the end of Justin Trudeau's government. We're going to give you guys all the details there because Trudeau is now preparing for the end of office. This is officially his last Christmas. He's not going to be able to survive. He's preparing for a resignation, whether obviously before Christmas or obviously in January. We're going to give you guys all the information. It all goes back to this idiot, the leader of the New Democratic Party, who has been propping up Justin Trudeau's Liberal government, that's a minority government. And Jagmeet Singh essentially is the kingmaker, or was the kingmaker. It's all up to him because his little party is supporting the Liberals, the minority government. And as you guys know, as we reported over the last few days on 2CTV, there's been some chaos between these guys because he was refusing to even say that he was going to do a vote of no confidence. He's now come out to release a statement earlier on. We have a reaction from Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservatives. This whole kicking off, let's quickly go to the statement we have. Before we start, just a quick update. If you're watching this live, about an hour ago, we did a breaking news from Germany, a Christmas market attack. Straight after this live stream, stay tuned because we're going to come back. We have the identity of the attacker. And we have some more information about what's going on in Magdeburg as well. Let's go to the statement from Jagmeet Singh. He said today, fellow Canadians, the Canadian dream is a good job that gets you a home and a fridge full of groceries with enough left over to save for vacations. A country where healthcare is always there as soon as you need it. I believe every Canadian deserves that. The Trudeau Liberals said a lot of the right things. Then they let people down again and again. Justin Trudeau failed in the biggest job as Prime Minister has, to work for people, not the powerful, to focus on Canadians, not themselves. The Liberals don't deserve another chance. That's why the NDP will vote to bring this government down and give Canadians a chance to vote for a government who will work for them. No matter who is leading the Liberal Party, this government's time is up. We will put forward a clear motion of no confidence in the next sitting of the House of Commons, which will be in January. I called for Justin Trudeau to resign, and he should. He can't fix the healthcare, he can't build homes you can afford, he can't lower your bills. And then the rest of it just talks about himself and the opposition, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. You can pause the video and read the rest of the statement. It's just stupid things. Now, everybody was waiting for this moment. I know that he's obsessed with his pension. Jagmeet Singh seems like I think he's got that secured now. So Parliament will be back in January, right? But there is a bit of a plot twist there. Technically, Parliament's coming back towards the end of January, but things are kicking off. First things first, we had a reaction from Pierre Poilievre. Poilievre said, now that Parliament is closed and there is no chance to introduce any motion for months until after you get your pension, you did the same stunt in September, claiming you would no longer prop Trudeau up. Then you went back on your word and voted 8 times against an election and for your boss Trudeau. Just 11 days ago, you voted against the non-confidence motion filled with your own words. Had you voted that the other way, we'd almost be halfway through the election. Now, only common sense Conservatives can and will replace this costly NDP Liberal clown show. Axe the tax election now. Poilievre is right. But again, it also goes back to the issue with Trump and Trudeau. Pierre Poilievre has also reacted to what Trudeau has said about Trump and what Trump has said about Trudeau and how Poilievre wants to have a relationship with the United States. Let's quickly go to that video, then we're going to come back and show you more reaction.
So we will, you will have a friendly neighbor to the north, President Trump, but you will also be facing a free enterprise Canada that is open for business, that is going to be fighting for jobs, an opportunity on this side of the border. That is the new reality. We will have a prime minister who puts Canada first.
All right. Well, if you don't have a relationship with him as of today, perhaps he sees this and one will get started. Pierre Poilievre, leader of the official opposition.
I'm sure he's watching.
So the interesting thing about this is that Poilievre has now called Jagmeet Singh's bluff, which we're going to get into in a second. But if you want to know what the situation is when it comes to Canadian politics, have a look at this. This is the new poll that gives Pierre Poilievre a super majority, while Trudeau will be in the 4th place. 252 seats for the Conservatives, and the Liberals will be on 10, and obviously Jagmeet Singh, look at it. He will actually get more than Justin Trudeau's Liberals, but the Conservatives won't need any support from any other party. As we said, Poilievre has now come out to call Singh's bluff by announcing that he will be recalling Parliament. He wants to recall Parliament, and he's calling on others to also do the same, to bring back parliamentarians for one day, quickly, to do the no confidence motion, get rid of Justin Trudeau, and obviously the moment that's confirmed, Trudeau is going to resign. This is the end. We know that. He's not going to win that vote this time, unless, obviously, we have Jagmeet Singh going against his own words. But there are now enough Liberals on the backbenchers who are also going to be voting to get rid of their own party leader, because it's the right thing to do for them. Let's go to Poilievre's announcement.
Today we saw the next episode of the chaotic clown show that is costing Canadians after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government. Justin Trudeau, who egomaniacally holds on to power even though 80% of Canadians want to fire him. And then you have Jagmeet Singh, who, after he duped you all and claimed he'd ripped up his deal with Trudeau, voted 8 times to keep Trudeau in office over the last session of Parliament. This cannot go on. And that is why, in just a few moments, I will be writing the Governor-General, asking her to urgently reconvene Parliament and require a non-confidence vote so the Prime Minister can judge whether he stays in power, continuing to ruin our country, or whether we get an axe the tax election to allow Canadians to take back control of their lives and their country.
It's over. It's all over. January, this is the last Christmas for Justin Trudeau. January will be his last month in office. It's now up to him to either, obviously he's preparing resignation in the sense that he will either have to resign just beforehand, the moment he knows Parliament is recalled, or he will just have to wait for the vote of no confidence that will happen. He will be out regardless. There's no other way that he's going to be able, based on the numbers, no other way that he's going to be able to survive this. Now, there are also all the other MPs, including Leanne Rood, who's a Conservative MP, who's actually, they did a very good speech about listing all the scandals that Canada and Trudeau has had in recent times. Let's quickly go watch that. Again, apologies because the sound quality is a bit lower on this video. I didn't have time to actually sort out the sound quality, so turn it up a little bit.
Madam Speaker, I would like to read into the record a list of every Liberal scandal that I could possibly find. Now, fair warning, the list is not exhaustive, and I strongly believe the most rational individuals will believe that the government has not finished adding to the count. Now, traditionally, we would have the 12 days of Christmas, but after 9 years of NDP Liberal government, I bring you the 68 scandals this Christmas instead. So let's take a walk down scandal lane together as we review the 68 and continuing Liberal scandals. The Aga Khan vacation scandal, the prison needle exchange program, pressuring the Justice Minister to get Liberal donor SNC Lavalin off the hook and firing the Justice Minister for not helping with the cover-up. Some people experience it differently, response over groping allegations. The We Charity scandal, Prime Minister assaults NDP MP in the House of Commons, proroguing Parliament to escape the We Charity scandal, sending personal protective equipment to China during a pandemic, giving hundreds of thousands of dollars in ventilator contracts to Liberal Party insider Frank Baylis, fake charges against Mark Norman, rampant sexual assault in the military, illegally invoking the Emergencies Act, fabricating why the Emergencies Act was invoked. The Public Health Agency of Canada found committing contempt of Parliament in the Winnipeg Winnipeg lab document scandal, the Public Health Agency tracking scandal, trampling Canadians with horses, seizing Canadians' bank accounts, rampant abuse of staff in the Prime Minister-appointed Governor General's office, the Governor General wasting over $100,000 to throw private jet parties, Liberal connections with illegal casino magnates, vaccine delays and unwarranted vaccine mandates, dressing up in racist costumes on an official trip to India, dressing up in racist blackface costumes at least 3 times over 11 years. But, the Prime Minister is, this number is how many times the Prime Minister can remember. So mass airport delays and cancellations as we continue, decriminalizing hard drugs, lowering the flag for half a year, polluting more in 1 year on his private jet than an average Canadian does in half a lifetime, more than 72 secret order and councils, sending diplomats to a party at the Russian embassy during the invasion of Ukraine, having a minister give a $17,000 contract to a Liberal aligned media firm, letting Thomas Reuters take his chief of staff to the White House press correspondence dinner. The DND minister misrepresents service, trying to get unwarranted border searches of electronics, restricting online free speech, spending $11 million to renovate the Prime Minister's cottage, raising the carbon tax during an energy crisis and ignoring racist laws in Quebec, misinforming Canadians about electoral reform, skipping the first Truth and Reconciliation Day to go surfing in Tofino, eliminating mandatory minimums for gun offences while going after law-abiding firearms owners, the Prime Minister flying in his private jet to climate conferences, the Prime Minister partying in Scotland maskless while Canadians were still under lockdowns, failed reforms in the ATIP system, awarding contracts to government employees without proper bids, like in GC Strategies, the ArriveCan or ArriveScam app, the $8 million barn built at Harrington Lake, Jamaica Vacation that cost Canadian taxpayers at least $162,000, Liberal cover-ups of foreign interference with the family friend rapporteur, Liberals not naming foreign threats, Bernardo and Magnotta prison transfers, having a known compromised MP on the Liberal benches, the Speaker's Nazi scandal, the waiting to designate the IRGC as a terrorist group, skyrocketing debt, skyrocketing inflation, skyrocketing addictions, skyrocketing overdose deaths, the other Randy, incompetent mismanagement of CERB, failing promises on Senate reform, anti-Semitic human rights chair, ECCC politicizing the Jasper wildfire response, $9 million penthouse for Tom Clark, illegal plastics ban, the Green Slush Fund, SDTC, while we're here today, CBC bonuses, the CBC CEO's travel to Paris, immigration crisis, pulling away refunds from farmers for unnecessary fertilizer tariffs and then charging them interest. The Minister of the Environment awarding funding to his own company. India's criminal activity, announcing and then redacting. Finding out that there was no other Randy. $6.5 billion was spent in a shallow attempt to buy votes. And there's more to come, I'm sure.
That was, I think, 4 minutes and 31 seconds. 68 scandals. So obviously the reports now coming in from Canada confirms that Trudeau's team are preparing to basically pack up. So we have 2 options. Either, I mean, it's still unlikely he would actually just do the resignation before Christmas. You never know. But this is his final Christmas. January is the end of Trudeau. So Trudeau's preparing for resignation, either willingly or by the actual no confidence vote, which is now basically coming. And they're either going to recall Parliament early, 1 day, or just wait for January when Parliament returns. And now that the NDP have promised, again, I know, but promised to also vote to bring him down, then we have the vote. Done. It's over. This is it. There's no other way. Unless somehow they change their mind and come out and say, okay, we're just going to ignore the public announcement we just made, the NDP, it's over. So he's gone. So it's probably best for him, as he's already preparing resignation, just go now. Probably best to go before Christmas, because you still have the actual holiday, the break between now and January. It's probably best now because it will avoid the chaos, whether it's the financial markets and everything else. Although the financial markets will react positively to Trudeau's resignation. So it is still better for him to do the resignation now rather than wait a couple of weeks and do it in January. So this is it. This is the end of Trudeau as we know it, unless the NDP once again betrays the people of Canada. Obviously, we're going to keep a close eye on this. That list, 68 scandals, was absolutely massive. We're now, those of you watching this live, we're now going to take a quick, probably 10-15 minute break. We're going to come back straight away with more breaking news from Germany, the Christmas market attack. We now have more information, including the identity of the attacker. We're going to go through all that. If you're not watching this live, then the next live stream that you can see on the screen, click on it now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.